engagement adventure. Oh, hello, grasshoppers. You know that you have chosen the right place to spend your Thursday afternoon because today we are talking to my dear friend, Emily Bisson. Emily and I go way back. We met, I think it was some sort of a networking thing, and we hit it off immediately as beautiful, brilliant, creative people should. And today I've brought her here. She is your connection superpower. I mean, she has superpowers. She's going to share them with us, and I just can't wait to have you meet Emily Bisson. Emily, tell us who you are, where you're from, what you're all about.
All right. I'm Emily. I own Blue Heron Business Partners. I am currently in Seattle, Washington, but grew up in the Midwest and love helping people find their zone of genius and build their business development and sales strategy around that.
Nice. What brought you to decide that that's what you were going to do with your life, Emily?
I've always had teaching in my blood. So my mom, grandma, grandpa, and two aunts on one side of the family were all teachers. And I went into that role as well for a while and taught middle school family and consumer science, and quickly realized that was not going to be my 30-year career. And spent 3.5 years doing business development with a business coaching firm and realized that there was a lot more I could do with it. And started Blue Heron because I saw the gap in the marketplace of business development and sales is hard sometimes, but it doesn't have to be. So that's kind of where I started and have been able to support people and sharing their gifts with the world for the last 1.5 years.
Who are the people that you look to serve? Who are your folks?
Those B2B coaches and consultants that are just starting out and trying to find their thing that they're doing, so they're not talking to everyone. And the creative entrepreneurs who are really good at the thing that they do, but don't know what they're doing really well, so need somebody to help bring it all together and show them, like, this is how you're able to make $4,000 to $15,000 sales, and let's figure out how you can put somebody else in that driver's seat so that you don't have to do that part if you don't want to anymore.
Nice. Well, so what do you love about serving your crowd of B2B folks?
I love seeing the light that they have inside of them just shine brighter. I love seeing that, like, light bulb moment of, oh, I'm not really doing the thing that I'm meant to be doing. I am doing something that I'm good at, but not the thing that's like my zone of genius, like easy flow work. And I think helping people see that once you tap into that zone of genius work, it makes everything so much easier. It makes the conversations about what you're doing easier. It makes just doing the work easier because you actually want to do it. And the number of people that I meet that are doing really cool things in the world is the thing that lights me up the most. Is like, when you go to school, they're like, you could do this path, or this path. And you're like, okay, but there are 10 million other things I could do, right? Yes. And so getting to know people and what pieces light them up, and then being able to help them share that with more people is really the thing that makes you want to keep doing it.
Well, yeah, and I'm just going back to when I was in school and everything, and this path, or this path. I mean, it just was so, it was very set. And now, after 2020, I mean, bam, everybody is thinking about business, whatever circumstances they're in. So how has your business changed in the last couple of years? Have you changed like your focus or who you serve?
Well, I started in 2021. So Blue Heron was founded in 2021. So we were sort of still in the pandemic. I knew that I wanted to do something remotely, and I wanted to do something during the hours that my kids were in school, because that was really important to me.
Yeah.
to be able to spend time with them. So I initially though started my business thinking I would do contracted business development work and I would call on behalf of my clients. And I hated that. I was really good at it, but I was like, this is taking all of my energy. And really, it was the strategy work that I loved the most. So actually, in January of this year, 2022, I started from scratch and I started at zero and was working with one-on-one clients and helping them do their strategy work. And it has been great because it's really leaning into that work that I love and do well, and helping them one-on-one kind of figure out the path that's going to make it easier for them. So no longer am I calling on behalf of clients unless it's for like client 360s and helping them get some feedback from their clients. But I'm not doing sales outreach for them anymore.
Nice. It is an interesting thing. It's an interesting time that we're in, and there's a lot that could be said negative about it, but what I have to say that's positive about it is that we live in a time where the possibilities are endless.
Yeah.
And for me as well, I don't have, what I want to be doing for a living is exactly in line with my values and principles. And I don't have to fit a square peg into a round hole anymore, that I really can do it differently, make my own choices. And it sounds like you work with people who love that too.
Yeah. And have realized that there's more to life than what you do for work. So helping your business become a tool that allows you to do more and discover more parts about yourself. I think that was one of the greatest gifts that we got during the pandemic, was like, hold up, who am I outside of this job that I have? And what do I actually enjoy doing? Because at the end of our life, like, people don't care about what you did for work. They want to know who you were, what the well-rounded version of you looked like. And so I think too, it's reclaiming our time. That was another big thing. Was when I was networking before, I was out driving to all of my networking events. They were an hour long or 2 hours long, and then I drive back. And during the pandemic, I was like, 30 minutes. That's how long we're going to meet. And so the efficiency just got so much better, and I was able to have more meetings, but in a shorter amount of time, and get more accomplished in that half an hour than I typically did in an hour. So that was another big shift.
Oh, that was huge.
Embracing.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that one's huge. That, time spent in the car has dropped dramatically for people. And I'm, it's one of those things that I never thought about before the pandemic, but I sure do now.
Oh, yeah.
So, going back and thinking about the clients you've had, what's the best lesson you ever learned from a client?
That's a good question. I think the best lesson I learned is that the thing that comes really naturally and easy to me is sometimes the most profound thing that I've been able to help them with. And it comes so naturally that that's what happens when you're doing your zone of genius work, and having them be able to do that too, and see like, yeah, that's something that would not come natural to me at all, but you're able to like explain it in a way that makes sense to people. And you just see that light bulb of like, wow, like I am really making a difference in the work that we're doing. And I have had several clients in 1 or 2 sessions that we've worked with, their ROI on our work together was 4 to 6 times, because it was like that switch that was like, okay. So those are the moments that I'm like, okay, maybe I do know what I'm doing. Like, maybe I am really good at this.
Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful. I mean, because, as you've been talking about this zone of genius thing, to me, I deeply want to want to tap into that for my people and for their outreach and for their marketing, because most people consider it, they're just completely dread it. They just, they would most of my clients are the transformation minded, heart-centered people. And they want to, they didn't get into this because, oh, I can make $1 million and buy a couple of Ferraris. No, that's not why they got into coaching. And so, but most of them absolutely hate their marketing, and because it's just misaligned. Do you see a lot of the, when you are looking at helping people find that zone of genius, do you start with those principles first and try to kind of find a way that will align with them, or I just asked you a real big question there, but
no, but totally. The first couple sessions we have together, it's like dumping out the junk drawer. So what have you done? What's working? What's not working? What do you love to do? What do you hate doing? And let's stop doing the things you hate doing and build a plan around the things that actually bring you joy. If you like writing, let's put out some more content. Like, let's figure out where you're going to do that, and then how to then convert those likes and comments to one-on-one calls and sales. And I think we make it so complicated when really it's like, how do we connect human to human? Because like you and I talked about before, is there are so many different like companies out there that are like, we could get you 100 leads a week. And you're like, I would not be able to actually follow up with all those people. So looking at like, what makes sense for you? How many people do you actually want to work with, or can you actually work with? And then let's build a strategy around that. Because if you're putting all your money into ads and like lead gen things that are getting you, one, not qualified leads, and two, just too many people in the pipeline where you don't have time to actually follow up and have a conversation with people, you're burning all of those leads and you're burning all that money that you're spending on it, because it's not going to work out, and you're going to get stressed out that you have all these people to follow up with and no time to do it.
Oh my gosh. I so many people, it's either one or the other, it's either nothing coming in, no good leads coming in, so we're going to cast the net out further, or it's I've cast the net and it's way too much and I don't even know how to process what I've got. It's so rough, because it seems like no matter what the question is, the answer is get more people on your list. Which anytime there's a one size fits all answer, that it's not going to fit. You just know. And so, no, I'm loving what you're doing, because there's so much more to it than, the bandwagon on how to do your business. I mean, and the way that you craft it, it's reminding me a lot of Clifton's Strengths Finder, if you're familiar with that. Let's take what you love. Let's take what gives you energy and make that the center of what you're doing, and, figure out how to do the rest. You're amazing, Emily. You knew that I thought that anyway, but I just would like to announce Emily is amazing, everyone.
Well, and along that line too is then figuring out your power partners. So if you're the one that's not like, I don't want to spend time on social media, but that you have to be out in front of people in order to have them recognize that you are a service that they could purchase, then how do you get somebody else to do that work for you, but using the tools and resources you already have created? So reusing that like content that you've already done and letting somebody else do that work that's annoying to you, but you have to do in order to get new leads in the pipeline.
Yeah. Holy moly. Well, we could absolutely talk about that forever. And trust me, we have, we have done this. So the topic that folks listen to the show for is engaging your audience. How do you engage your audience?
The thing that I have found that's worked best for me since I started being consistent on it was posting on LinkedIn regularly. And I was posting 5 days a week when I first started, because I wanted to see what was going to happen. And I needed to build my brand and my voice so that people got to know, like, and trust me before I even was in a room with them. And by doing that, within 6 months, I was going to networking events and people were coming up to me saying, "Oh my gosh, I see your stuff on LinkedIn all the time. Like, I'm whoever." And I'm like, "Great, I'm Emily. Tell me about you." And it was this really easy conversation with people because they already felt like they knew who I was because I was posting things I cared about. And I think we get so in our head about, I have to make sure my post is perfect. I have to make sure that I'm always delivering value and I'm always like selling something. And that is so opposite of what needs to be happening. And people buy from people they know, like, and trust. And if you're showing up authentically, talking about your journey as a business owner or an employee doing this work, what you're reading, what conversations you're having, those kinds of things, you're building that community of people that tune into that kind of vibe where they're also looking to make connections and be seen as a human who also has stuff they're working on, because we're not perfect people. And then taking the people that are regularly tuning into what you're saying and messaging them and saying, "Hey, I would love to get to know you better. It seems like we've got a lot in common. Let's have a conversation," and send them your calendar link and let them schedule a call. That's the way that I've been able to do that best. And I found the most success was those one-on-one 30-minute conversations. And now I'm adding networking events to the work that we're doing to just bring people together and help them grow their network and get in touch with other people that they might need to know, because that was a strength that I had in my last job, where I could be in a room of people and be like, "You need to meet this person," and then bring them together. And whether they did business or not, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but sometimes they would meet a brand new friend or somebody that could mentor them or whatever it is. But it's about making connections and helping people see who you are underneath it all, because people don't really care about what you do. They want to know that you're a genuine person that can help them solve a problem.
That cares about helping them solve a problem.
Yeah.
I mean, it goes back to that old saying, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
Yeah.
And that's my watchword. I mean, that is my, can you be my friend question. It's before I will hire anyone, that's the question I need answered. Cause you know what? I mean, the connection part is about developing trust.
Mm-hmm.
I have a friend, she was on the show last week, Laura Lake, and she says that know, like, and trust is backwards. That people really, they do the trust thing first, and then the others. But anyway, the whole part is that we forget that we are not, when we're doing the posting and doing it the way that everybody else tells us to do everything. My LinkedIn headline now says, "Just say no to conventional marketing." And if that headline makes you giggle, give me a call. But I mean, it's about recreating what works for us. Earlier, you and I, before we got on, we were talking about, just the life the way it is and everything. We were talking kind of about that North Star thing. How many clients do you want?
Yeah.
I just think that's an amazing question.
Mm-hmm.
Because not everybody wants a crowd like Gary Vaynerchuk.
Yeah.
And, not everybody wants Tony Robbins' life.
Right.
And you are a person who is constantly and consistently encouraging people to, okay, what is your North Star? What is it that drives you? What is it that's going to be a success marker? And it doesn't have to be anybody else's.
Right. Yeah. Well, and that's so funny that you say that, because there was, I think it was a little over a month ago, I had this moment where I compared my success to Taylor Swift. And I was like, I'm never going to be as successful as her. And it was like, okay, what is wrong with you? First of all, you don't want her life. Second of all, you're not even playing the same game. So why are you comparing yourself to somebody else? And I think that's the lesson that we all need to learn is like, we're on our own journey, but we have a community of people we're on this journey with. And if they don't align with you anymore, then find a new community. But if they do, they're going to help build you up and help you feel connected and supported and loved and heard and seen and cared about. And they're going to cheer you on every step of the way. But when you're comparing yourself to people that have been doing something for 20, 30 years, have a support team of 10 million people, and, like all these, if you are the entrepreneur doing all the things yourself and you're wearing all the hats, you're not even in the same galaxy as that other person. So observe the wins that you have on a regular basis and cheer yourself on and share those wins with other people, because sometimes those little tiny wins are the biggest shifters in your life and in your business.
Yeah. And it also comes back to, we're taught that, when we make a big sale, that's when our work matters. And it does. Mama loves getting paid. I'm not, let me not disabuse you of that notion. Money's important, but like all of the little things that you do along the way with the way that you serve your clients, the way that you serve yourself and keep yourself going, before you can lead a group, you've got to lead yourself. And so, taking all of that together, it's really time for a new normal, I think, to emerge. And this opportunity to choose our own path, that's just going to get stronger and stronger. At least that's my hope.
Yeah. And when I was in the last role I was in, it was very much ingrained in us is like, we can't celebrate until you've hit the mark. And it's like, okay, but if I was 80% of the way there, you're just going to discredit all the things that I did to get 80% of the way there? Like, that means nothing, even though that was, X number of dollars or new clients that we brought in. And it was really disheartening, and it felt really hard. It felt really hard to want to keep going when anything you did wasn't good enough.
That's right.
So it was always like, okay, what's next? How else can you perform? And so I think there's a lot of unlearning that we need to do when we become our own bosses. If you are running your own show, is like, you can't do the thing that made you feel shitty, because that you get to drive the bus. So don't do the things that made you feel like a failure. Celebrate those little things. Take yourself out to coffee when you make a sale, or go for a walk, take the afternoon off. It can be little things that you're doing to celebrate. It doesn't have to be these grand gestures. But then when you do hit those like big milestone goals, then go freaking celebrate it, like big time, because you earned it.
Yeah.
But don't forget to celebrate. That's the thing, is we can't just keep looking at like what's next, because you're never going to feel like you've done it.
You're constantly, my friend Coach Jenny calls it jumping over puddles. You are crossing an ocean. It is taking a long time and a lot of blood, sweat, and tears to cross this ocean. You cross the ocean, and then you stand on the beach and you look back over your shoulder and it looks like you crossed a puddle, and the next ocean is in front of you. You can only last so long doing that.
Yeah.
And burnout is real.
Yeah.
No, I love your perspective, and I love what you offer your clients, because that is different. That is different. So many people out there are like, follow this template. I think if 2023 is the year for anything for me, it's the year of throw out the template. Let's experience this. Let's remember that we are connecting with people, not marketing to a screen.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm doing something new next year. We'll see how it works. I'll report back. But I'm trying something new. It's really a lot along the lines of what you were just talking about with, like, what, everything that you do matters. It matters. And so what I'm doing is, like, it's not necessarily an accountability system, but I identified 8 things that I do that move the needle in my business somehow. Um, and things on the list are things like had a meeting, reached out to an old friend, invited somebody to an event that I'm doing, welcomed people into my community, like little things like that. And every time I do something, so I of course I have a bot. I mean, I know that that is shocking, but so I report in on my bot daily, and I gain points, and like gain points, and then at a certain point I'll get a belt level, and then all of this stuff. So I'm doing the guinea pig thing, but that's something that I'm going to release for my folks, because it's like I want them to know that meeting you just had, that connection you just made, maybe you didn't make a sale right now. Who cares? They love you. They're in your circle. This is what matters, So I'll report back on how that does, Ms. Emily.
That's awesome. Well, and that was, I had a conversation. I was in a masterclass I taught on Tuesday about sales and business development, and that rejection piece, or that like no, feels really hard when you're the product, and I think a lot of business owners are trying to jump over that hurdle of like, okay, they're not saying no to me as a human, they're saying no to the service, and that's okay. But when we aren't doing the connection meetings and talking to people, more and more people, and we're just having 3 or 4 meetings a month, then those no's feel really bad, because you're trying now to make a sale in those 3 or 4 meetings. Whereas if you had 3 or 4 meetings a week where you're just focused on the connection and trying to figure out if there's an opportunity to do business together, to refer them to someone, to learn from them, whatever it is, that's going to pay dividends, because you're growing your community of people you're connected to. And at some point, those are going to turn into more sales, or they're going to turn into referrals, or they're going to turn into, new opportunities, that if we aren't going out and having more conversations with people, that's a heavy rock to push up a hill.
Yes. Over and over again.
Coming to you all the time,
Oh man, I haven't thought about that in a while. The comparison of lots of social posting and things like that feeling like pushing that rock up that hill. That's hilarious. Okay, now you had a super secret special gift that you wanted to offer the audience. Please, can you tell me about that?
Yeah. So strategy is the thing that I love the most. And I would love to offer a 30-minute strategy call with anybody who's interested in working out some of the kinks when it comes to their business development or sales process, and finding their zone of genius. If you're feeling like the work that you're doing is close, but not exactly what you should be doing yet, let's chat, because there are probably some things that we can uncover in the 30 minutes that really help you shift your perspective on what you're doing and how to make it easier.
Yeah. Well, and sometimes what it takes is just an objective pair of eyeballs to look at where you are and find the hole in there that you just automatically skipped over.
Yeah, because you're too close to it. Like that's why business owners have coaches, to have them be able to call out the things that we're not seeing because we're so, blinders on.
Oh, blinders on. And no matter what, no matter where you are right now, there's probably some strategy piece that you would benefit from, and having truly objective people look at your stuff is it is a strength. So take Emily up on this. I just threw the link out into the chat, but also put it up on the screen there, and we'll put that up again as well. Take advantage, because when I talked to Emily brought some light into my life that was possible to get no other way. And you're going to get the same thing because she just has it on offer. Okay, everybody. So I will hide that for now, but we'll post that again. What final words of advice do you have for our people out there, Miss Emily?
Let it be easy. We make things so hard because I think there's this, Midwest work ethic. If you're not doing it, if it's not hard, then you're not doing it right. And that is so far from the truth, is that when you figure out how to make it easy, that's when you know you're winning.
Yeah. Oh, I love those words. Let it be easy. And particularly helpful for this time of year when it seems like nothing's easy. Lots of stuff going on, families and kids and coworkers and everything else. Let it be easy. Let that be your mantra for the next week and a half. You're gonna get through this. We're all gonna get through this. I want to thank you for being a bright light to my people today and talking about you and the way you coach. I think there needs to be about 80 more of you. I really think that what you do in the world is absolutely significant. And I celebrate who you are, Emily.
Thank you. Yeah. It's an honor for me to be here. So I really appreciate you having me on and the conversation we've had today.
Yes. All right, my friends. Well, that wraps it up for this episode. Next week we'll be on with my friend Howard, and it's going to be great. So, come on back. Same bot time, same bot channel. And again, take advantage of Emily's offer. Happy holidays. Merry whatever. Do your thing this holiday season and let it be easy. That's it from us. We'll see you later.